Hello and welcome to HTML tutorials. Today we are going to discuss about HTML comments. Comment is a piece of code which is ignored by any web browser. That means when you make any comment, that comment will stay with the code, but no browser will render it. So you are not going to see those comments in the output. It is a good practice to add comments into your HTML code, especially in complex documents, to indicate sections of the document and any other notes to anyone looking at the code. Comments help you and others understand your code and increases code readability. HTML codes are placed in between these comment tags. So any content placed within these comment tags will be treated as a comment and will be completely ignored by the browser. Let us have a look at the example of HTML comments. In this code, you can see the red highlighted text here. So that is a comment actually. So the comment is saying that head, in the head part, document header starts here or something, and when the head ends, it is saying that document header ends here. So if somebody's been look into your code, they will easily recognize where the head starts and where the head ends. Basically, head is a very simple example. Like anybody can recognize head and body, anything. When you write something which is difficult to recognize, then you'll make a note there. That is called a comment. Let us try to display this comment. Let us try this example. Okay, the code is here. HTML opens here and head. I'm saying that this is the head part, and I gave the title here, and I'm saying that it's the end of the head part, and the body and document content goes here, and it's a paragraph, and body closed and HTML closed, and I'm saving this, and let us run this in Chrome. See, you can only see the content from the paragraph here, because these text between these comment tags are completely ignored by the browser. So this is how we document the code, by making comments in a comment tag. Let's talk about the valid and invalid comments. You should write a proper code, then only your comment is called as a valid code. If not, that will be invalid. So let us see what is a valid code and what is an invalid code. So here, when you see this example, you see that you see a valid code and an invalid code here. This is the valid code because this comment tag is perfectly written, but the next one is not a valid code, because you should not make spaces when you're writing tags, because there is a space between these two characters that will make this comment an invalid comment. What if you write an invalid comment? What happens? Let us execute this code and see what can go wrong. So I wrote the code here. You can see the color difference between these two codes when you're writing, when it is not valid comment. So it is showing in a regular font color black. But when you write the code, it should look in a different color, because that depends upon the text editor that you are using. Most of the advanced text editor will differentiate the characteristics of different formats. So if it is a comment, then it will, in this Notepad++, it's going to show in the green color. If not, it is in a regular text. So still, if your text editor is not differentiating by color, then let us see what happens when you execute it. Save it and run it. Yes. So the comment that you wrote here is got displayed here, but a comment should be ignored by the browser. But this comment is not ignored because it's not a valid comment. Okay, our next type of comments are multi-line comments. What is a multi-line comment? So far we have seen single line comments, but HTML supports multi-line comments as well. You can comment multiple lines by a special beginning tag, this one, and ending with this one, placed before the first line, and the end of this one is the first line and the end of the last line, as shown in this example. And conditional comments. What are these conditional comments? These conditional comments only work in Internet Explorer on Windows, but they are ignored by the other browsers. These comments are supported from Internet Explorer version 5 onwards, and you can use them to give conditional instructions to different versions of Internet Explorer. We are not going to try to execute this particular code because we are not using Internet Explorer. So you can ignore it. Most of the web browsers that we are using today is Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, and Apple users, they use Safari, and some use Opera also, but very few, almost none, using Internet Explorer. So when somebody writes a code that only works in Internet Explorer, so that's not a good idea. Let us have a look at one more tag called comment tag. How do we use the comment tag? If you have a look at this code, this is pretty interesting code, because this code will explain you the difference between the browser and browser. Because using comment tag is the title, and in body we have a paragraph saying this is not Internet Explorer, and this not word is surrounded by comment tag here. So when you execute it in Internet Explorer, it's gonna ignore this not word, because this not word is surrounded by a comment tag. But if you render this in other internet browser, what happens? Let us see. So the code is ready here, but the browser should ignore this word as it is surrounded by comment tag. But let us run this and see what happens. But it is displaying this is not Internet Explorer, because we are using Chrome. Chrome will not recognize this comment here. This is for only Internet Explorer. If you render this in Internet Explorer, you will not, it say this is Internet Explorer, you will not see the not word in the middle, because Internet Explorer will ignore the comment. Internet Explorer will consider this comment and /comment tag as a comment tag, but not the Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, any of them. So now we see how do we comment the style sheet. Though you will learn using style sheets with HTML in a separate tutorial, but here you must make a note that you are using Cascade style sheet, I mean CSS, in your HTML code. Then it is recommended to put that style sheet code inside proper HTML comments so that the whole process can work properly. So here we are going to deal with the style sheet. So what we are doing, so we are commenting a style sheet. That when you open it, so we are saying that border is one pixel and we are giving a solid color with a color code and everything. We are just putting these documentation, that means comments, in a proper HTML comments. So I'm not going to execute this particular program because I will talk about the CSS, because we in upcoming CSS tutorial we will learn the CSS separately in a different tutorials. And we have the similar program here.